Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Karvell Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Karvell Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it, and my name is Strategic.
All right, welcome to the show. This is Coach Karvell Bailey. We're not going to do a whole lot of hoopla with this. This is our third time attempting this broadcast. So guess what? We're not going to let technology get the best of us. We're resilient. We do things until we do things. Does that make sense, right? We do things until we do things. So do me a quick favor. If you can hear me, drop a 1 in the chat. We got IG over here. We got Facebook and Instagram over here. And podcast land everywhere around. So if you can hear me, drop a 1 in the chat. I want to know who's with me today and where are you learning from. So let's get to it. Let's drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. Ronette, I appreciate it. Ronette Bell says she can hear me. So here we go. We are off to it. We're not waiting on nobody else. Let's get to it. So today, I want to talk about what I've been trying to talk about for the last 4 days, is what you can do for your athlete to be able to put your athlete in a better position to be successful. A lot of times athletes be like, man, my coach tripping. Or as parents, you be like, man, my coach is tripping. You know, my son's coach is tripping. My daughter's coach is tripping. They deserve more than what they're getting. But let's shut out all the outside noise and let's be more effective and efficient in knowing exactly what our athlete is doing. So I want to first start off, preface this by saying, if your athlete is like, if you're going to your athlete's games and practices, be the parent that's cheering for everybody. Don't be the parent that only cheers for your athlete. I think that's tacky. I think that's unfair to everybody else, all the other athletes. I even think it's unfair to your athlete because, now, you may even be talking about their teammates. Now, while it's difficult as parents, even as me as a parent, it's difficult sometimes because we don't want our kids to think that we're celebrating others more than celebrating somebody else. So at times it gets difficult. You want to celebrate for your kid, right? But you want to celebrate other kids, but you don't want to celebrate other kids more than your athlete. And you don't want your athlete to think that you're celebrating other people more than them. So let's start out first. Let's be the type of parent that celebrates all the participants, all the individuals. All right, but let's do something different, right? I want you to have a better understanding. I want you to be better equipped as a parent at those basketball games than any other parent. So I want you to get you a notebook. And I want you to go to the games, right? No matter what type of notebook it is, I want you to go to the games and I want you to sit with a notebook. And you can cheer, you can clap, You can do all of those things, but I want you to sit with a notebook and I want you to keep track of 4 stats. Because once you have the stats, now you're going to know if the coach is tripping, which most times the coach probably not, but you'll also know what your athlete should do, can do to be more productive and be more effective and efficient on the court. So while everybody else is just sitting, complaining about referees, complaining about the coach, complaining about the other players, calling everything a foul, calling everything a travel, I want you sitting with your notebook and I want you to keep track of these 4 stats. And the first stat is keep track of the rebounds. Now, with rebounding, everybody loves their athlete to score, right? If you love to see your athlete score as a parent, if you love to see your athlete score, just drop a me in the chat, right? I'm no different, right? When my daughter played basketball, right, I love to see her score. She's a cheerleader. Both my daughters are cheerleader by trade, but I love to see them score. So if you're that parent that loves to see your athlete score, just drop a me, right? Just let's be honest. Yep, Andre Fletcher. Yep, me, definitely. Appreciate it, Fletch. Yep, Miss Bell, me, definitely, right? Everybody loves to see athletes score, but dig this. Our athletes cannot score until their team gets possession of the basketball. Does that make sense? So until your son or daughter's team get possession of the basketball, which is a rebound in most cases, unless it's a steal, but a rebound, they can't go on the other end to score. So the first thing that I want you to keep track of is the rebound. Now you can get sexy with it, right? You can go offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, but I'm just talking about rebounding the basketball. Because as a former head college basketball coach, we love athletes that can rebound the basketball. Why? Because we got to get possession of the ball before we can go back down and score. So if your athlete can rebound, right, these 4 things will also help your athletes stay on the court also. Not only help them become aware of what they're doing, what they need to improve on, but also be able to help them stay on the court. So the first thing, help them with rebounding the basketball, right? Help them keep track of how many rebounds they're getting. That's the first stat I want you to keep. The second stat that I want you to keep is the number of assists. Now, in the NBA, they may say you can take 2 or 3 dribbles, right? On a college level, it's kind of like 1 to 2 dribbles. But how soon after your athlete makes a pass and set their teammates up, how many dribbles does it take for them to then score, right? Are they hitting their teammate right in position to score, layup, jump shot, off the screen? Do they may have to take 1 dribble to gather themselves, or maybe even 2 dribbles, right? Understand what an assist is. And while we love to see our athletes score, the ball won't drop every time, every night. So because your athlete is human, just like me, because we're human, the ball is not going to always go in the basket every night. But guess what the ball can do, right? The ball can find the open man. I'm going to rewind that back, right? The ball may not drop every night, but the ball will find the open man. A lot of times where athletes get it confused, they're going looking for the ball. But guess what? Athletes don't find the ball. The ball finds the open person. Get your athlete to understand that. The ball finds the open person. So if your athlete if their shot is not dropping, but if they can get an assist, guess what that does? That helps the points go up for their team. Coaches love people that rebound. We love people that can put other people in position to score. Right? Everybody's not a scorer. Everybody's not going to score every night, but somebody's going to score. Hopefully somebody's going to score. But can we put other people in position to score? Does that make sense? Right? Shan, what's happening? I always love to see you in the building. Right? We love to see other people score. We should. But if you keep track of the rebounds that your athlete is getting when they're playing club ball, spring ball, summer ball, even for their high school team, right? Keep track of these stats. Now notice, I ain't talked about points. I won't talk about points. I'm gonna give you the spoiler now. I'm not gonna talk about points. I don't care how many points your athlete scores. Coaches may know they have an athlete that has to fill it up for them to be successful and for them to win. But one of the worst things that an athlete can do, especially after a loss, is looking at the scorebook, how many points I scored. Sometimes even after a win, like how many points I scored. The reason I'm not talking about points, because points can be selfish. Does that make sense? Right? Points can make somebody seem selfish or do selfish things because they're looking to score. So I'm not going to talk about points. Spoiler alert. I'm not talking about points, and I'm not going to talk about steals, because steals gives a bad connotation, because now they're practicing bad habits. If an athlete is forcing the ball, looking to score, they can practice bad habits. If they're forcing themselves to get a steal, that's practicing a bad habit. That can put them in a bad position. So I'm not keeping track of steals. I'm not keeping track of points. And I'm almost not even keeping track of block shots, because to block a shot is really an art. It's an art form. And I don't have time to talk about that today, but to be able to properly block a shot is not coming from the back like Michael Jordan. We used to love to do that in my age group, right? But the best way to block a shot is to block the shot with the opposite hand that the shooter is shooting from. So if the shooter is shooting right hand, your athlete would be more prone to block a shot using their left hand. The shooter is shooting with their right hand, they're more prone to block that shot with their right hand. Why? Because if I'm looking to block the shot with my right hand on a right hand shooter, I'm getting them body to body. That's a foul. So we're not talking about points. That's selfish. We're not talking about steals or blocks, because that can produce bad habits. We are talking about rebounds, though. We are talking about assists. The third stat that I want you to keep track of is deflections. And notice I didn't say steals, I said deflections. How active is your athlete's hands on the court? How often do they put their hands on the ball? And even though they may not get a steal, but if they can get a deflection, it sets up their teammates to then get a steal. Does that make sense? If y'all with me right now, right? If y'all with me right now, just drop it makes sense in the comments, right? If these three so far make sense: rebounds, assists, and deflections. Notice we're not talking about points, we're not talking about steals, we're not talking about blocks. We're talking about rebounds, assists, and deflections. If that makes sense, just drop it makes sense in the comments. Okay, Shan, it definitely makes sense, right? Yep. Miss Bell, it definitely makes sense. All right, we got Coach Chapman, right? National champion, right? Coach Chapman. Remember, those that follow me know, right? That follow me, Coach Chapman is on here often, learning at lunchtime, and we talked about him being a student of the game. Well, Coach Chapman just won the junior college national championship, right? It's constantly learning, and as Coach Chapman is talking about effort chart, right? What's on that effort chart? Steve says it makes sense, right? It makes sense. So can they get their hands on the ball with deflections? We're not worried about steals, right? But can they get their hands on the ball with deflections? IG, I hope that you're with me, right? Deflections. How active is their hands, and can they get deflections? Well, guess what? 3 and 4 goes together, because we got rebounds, we got assists, we got deflections. And then the fourth thing that I want you to keep stats of, when you're sitting at the game, I want you to draw a chart. Draw a chart. 4 lines: rebounds, assists, deflections, and the fourth one, 50-50 balls. And what's a 50-50 ball? Right? If you don't know what a 50-50 ball is, just drop 50-50 balls in the chat. If you don't know what a 50-50 ball is, just drop 50-50 in the chat. Right? Because I want to make sure that I don't go too fast. I want to make sure that everybody's clear on what I'm saying when I talk about 50-50 balls. So if you've never heard what a 50-50 ball is, just drop 50-50 in the chat for me. Okay, Ms. Bell, I got you. We're going to help you out today to be able to help your athlete. What grade is your athlete in? Ms. Bell? Is it Ronette? I think you told me before. Sometimes I'm bad with names. What grade is your athlete in? And you can just drop it in the chat, and I'm going to get to the 50-50 ball, right? So a 50-50 ball, right? We got Miss Collins, right? Miss Collins is here. Appreciate you being here again today, right? A 50-50 ball is that ball. Okay, they're in 10th grade. Perfect. A 50-50 ball is a ball that anybody can get. It's a 50-50 chance. Remember, we talked about rebounds, right? But a 50-50 ball is one person has a 50% chance in getting it, the other person has a 50% chance in getting it. But the team that gets the most 50-50 balls, guess what? They have more possessions than the other team. Does that make sense? Right? So what I'm giving you are 4 things that I want you to start keeping track of, because it will help your athlete know, okay, well, the coach ain't tripping. You only got 2 rebounds. You ain't getting no assists, right? You might have scored 8 points, but you ain't getting no, so you ain't helping nobody else get in the game. You didn't get no deflection. So your hands wasn't active. You got your hands down on defense, right? I'm not talking about steals. I'm not talking about reaching. I'm talking about active hands up on defense. You hear people be like, put your hands up, that's why. Putting the hands up makes the court shorter for the offensive player. Get some deflections. But 50-50 balls, how many 50-50 balls, right? You see people diving on the ground for loose balls. You know, Dennis Rodman would always dive in the crowd, right? Sometimes even those rebounds, right? You see people tipping and tipping and tipping and tipping and tipping. Well, at that point, it's a 50-50 ball. Who's going to get that 50-50 ball that can be a rebound, that can be a steal off of the deflection, right? Coaches love players that understand the importance of getting to the 50-50 ball. We love those players because that's effort. As Coach Chapman said, right? We're talking about an effort chart, not just like, don't go looking at how many points I got. But the 50-50 balls, can they get to the ball when somebody else also has an opportunity or a chance to get it? Can they be the first one to get to that ball? So those are the 4 stats I want you to keep track of. Rebounds, assists, deflections, 50-50 balls. And now, if you have time over the course of time, right, just try it out for about a week and then get back to me. Let me know how that's fared, if that's helped you and your athlete, right? But after you get to it about a week or 2 over the next couple weekends, or if they play during the week, whatever that is, now start to keep track of the plus minus. That's a little difficult, right? But that plus minus, right? You are welcome, Miss Bell. Don't go nowhere. Stay to the end of class. Don't walk out, right? But that plus minus, right? Don't walk out. Don't walk out of class, all right? That plus minus, right? Have you ever felt a certain way, right? Okay, Ms. Bell said, I am here. I'm here. As a parent, let's be honest. Let's shame the devil. Has your athlete ever been up and the coach makes a substitution and then when the subs come in, the score goes down? Has that ever happened to you? Right? Just drop a me, right? Has that ever happened to your athlete? You sitting as a parent, and when they're in, they have a lead, but then when the coach makes some subs, the lead goes down. Has anybody ever seen that? Has that ever happened to your athlete? Okay, maybe it's just us as coaches, paying attention to that. On the flip side, has your athlete's team not been doing well, and then the coach makes substitutions, and then those subs make the team do a little bit better? Okay, so Ms. Bell said yes in terms of make the subs and then the score goes down, right? What about the flip side, right? Have you all recognized it on the flip side to where now, let's say the first group or one group is not doing well, and then the coach makes subs and then it enhances? Have you all seen that also? Anybody seen that other than Ms. Bell? Right, well, that's like called the plus minus. So when your athlete is in the game, I want you to keep track of what the score was, right? What the score was, right? So Steve say most definitely as a college, AAU, and high school coach. See, coaches have a different, like coaches are looking at different things, right? Coaches are looking at different things and for different things. Shan said yes, right? So when your athlete gets in the game, I want you to keep track of the score, right? What do those numbers look like? It's 13-9. We're trailing. Well, now during the time that my athlete is in, now let's say, okay, now the score goes 19-15, right? And now we're winning. So it was 13-9 when they entered the game. Now it's 19-15. So that's a 10-6 run. Is that because they went from 9 to 19 and then they went from 9 to 15, right? One team went 9 to 15, the other team went from 9 to 19. So it's a 10-6 run. So right now your athlete, right, is up in that plus minus. Does that make sense? Right? You're not necessarily counting that they scored 10, right, or 4, but you're counting what the numbers were. So if your athlete, if it was the flip side, right, let's say the score is 10-2 and your athlete's team is up. But then when they get in the game, now the score goes 12-10. Well, now your athlete is a -10. Does that make sense? Because their team didn't score. They had 10. It was 10-2. But then they put your athlete in, and then the score went 12-10. So your athlete is a -10. So now, like the coach ain't tripping. Like when you in the game, y'all give up 10 points. Does that make sense? Right? Like I want to give you all things so that now you're not just pointing at the coaches, like Coach Burton, right? Like Coach Chapman, right? You're not just pointing at the coaches like it's the coach's fault. We're gonna hold the athletes accountable, but we're gonna make it to where the athletes now have to make the coaches put them in the game. And see, but until your athlete can understand the psychology of this thing we call basketball, it's not going to put them in the best position to be as successful and become an elite athlete. Because the difference that the thing that separates, right, good from great is consistency, discipline, and work ethic. Those are the three: discipline, consistency, and work ethic. Right? Somebody drop that in the chat. What separates good from great is discipline, consistency, and work ethic. Discipline, consistency, and work ethic. One player is not that much better than your athlete, or your athlete is not that much better than another athlete. It's discipline, consistency, and work ethic. And all of those things have one thing in common: discipline, consistency, and work ethic. They have one thing in common: choices. What choices is your athlete making? What choices is your athlete making? Discipline. What choices are they making to become disciplined? What choices are they making to be consistent? Again, this is my third time on here doing this particular class, right? Can y'all see now why the technology or the airwaves didn't necessarily want y'all to get this message? Like, ain't y'all glad that y'all sat down in this class on today and was able to get this message? Right? I tried Friday, it didn't work. Right? People said they couldn't hear me. tried earlier today, lunch and learn. I'm in my car. It's hot outside, and both phones, IG and Facebook. I said, I'm gonna do it from my phone because I don't want on my computer, they can't hear me. Because I'm sitting it right in my car. Now both of my phones overheat, shut down. Like, damn. But I made a choice to come back on because I knew that this was going to bless somebody. But if I didn't have the discipline to get on here, right, during my lunchtime or during my prep time, to be able to give y'all an education, to be able to help your athlete, right? If I didn't have that discipline, yes, content. I'm creating content. I am leaving a legacy. There's Coach Karvell Bailey content all over the internet, all on YouTube. But I had to be consistent. I had to be disciplined enough, but I had to be consistent, and then work ethic. Ain't a lot of coaches that's gonna just give up this for free. That's helpful. A lot of y'all paying a lot of money to a lot of these coaches, right? AAU or club ball, whatever that may be. And they're just getting your athlete in the gym and just throwing a basketball out and telling them to play. They're not helping them develop mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, right? Production doesn't lie, right? And it comes in many forms. Coach Chapman, national champion coach. Production don't lie. You either producing or you're not producing. And it come in a whole lot of different forms. Assists. Remember I said, we ain't talking about points. Right? Shan said, yes, sir. She glad that she was able to catch this. Somebody on Reg Code say, yes, I believe I say your name right on Instagram, right? Yes, glad that you are here to be able to get this message, right? Glad that I was able to come back and get this message, right? Ms. Bell say she definitely appreciate it, right? Coach Burton say, speak on it, coach, real talk, right? Real didn't recognize real until fake showed up. That's what somebody told me a long time ago. Facts. It's Fabian, as Coach Chapman said. Sometimes real don't recognize real until fake show up. Well, what is it going to do? How is your athlete going to be able to produce for a Coach Bailey, a Coach Chapman, a Coach Burton on that next level if they haven't been taught the game? I appreciate it, Shane. I definitely appreciate it, right? And guess what? Shan has been with us for about close to a year now, right? She gets the content, she gives it to her son, right? We've had several conversations, right? But she's taken this content, and what she's done is she said, you know what, coach, I'm gonna give you a testimonial because it's helped my son well beyond basketball. And I always tell Shan, like, what do you, if this is fire, what do you think that my clients get when they get more of me and more in depth? But her gratitude, her appreciation, she like, I'm gonna take the right again, choices. Some parents click on here, you talk about certain things. The other day we was talking about mental health, right? Because there have been 4 student athletes since March 1st that has committed suicide. And so go back and check out that class that I did. It was difficult for me to do it because it's the talk was needed, but it was a little difficult because I couldn't necessarily be myself like that, right? I mean, I wanted to be respectful to those 4 young ladies that are no longer here. But we talk about things that need to be talked about that's going to help. But what Shan did, she said, coach, I'm making a choice to get this information and give it to my athlete. And it's helped him so much. And now to show you gratitude, appreciation, I'm going to give you a testimonial and let you know how it's helped. But you get some people, they can't even share it. They get this good information and they don't even share it. Well, if your athlete is playing amongst a bunch of bums, excuse my language, or people that don't understand the game, how is that going to help them improve? Or if you as the parent and now one of your kids and you cool with their parent, like why wouldn't you share it? Even people that say, look, coach, right now, we don't know if we can afford the investment to work with you on your hoops mastery program, but we know some other people that can possibly use it. We know some other coaches that we're going to introduce, right, them to you by sharing this. Maybe they can bring you in and talk to our athletes to be able to help our athletes, because y'all don't want to say it, but y'all know that most of y'all coaches ain't giving up information like this. So I'm just saying, and notice, I ain't sold you nothing. I ain't asked you to check out. I ain't done none of that yet. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. I'm just being me. It's difficult sometimes, when, because I'm human. And Coach Chapman, national championship coach, right? And guess what? Coach Chapman was a high school freshman coach last year. He went from high school freshman coach. He made a choice. When he got the opportunity, he took advantage of it. He made a choice to move back from across the way. He was a freshman coach. Excuse me, coach. I hope you don't mind me sharing. He was a freshman coach, and then he left and moved to Portland, had an opportunity and made a choice to come back. And he's had the best year of his career as a basketball coach. Went undefeated, national champion, and somebody gonna offer him a job before school starts next year. Because he made a choice. He was disciplined, he was consistent, and he got a hell of a work ethic. A lot of times we get opportunities and we don't take advantage of them. So I'm telling you, when your athlete get an opportunity to get in the game, they got to take advantage of getting rebounds, getting assists, getting deflections, and getting 50-50 balls. They have to take advantage of that. They have to. Yep, Coach Buchanan, I really hope that the audience understands that you have been trying to transfer some of the most vital information an athlete or a person can take into their life. B, you already know I appreciate it. Right, and it's people like Mr. Buchanan, right, that again, real didn't recognize real until fake showed up, right? Sometimes we get so much fake amongst us to where you be like, damn, that dude is different. Because I've been hearing real, but then fake showed up and, oh, it's totally different, right? We've always held people accountable, right? I hold people accountable because I have coaches that hold me accountable. So y'all done heard the bell, right? I went overtime. It's 33. Listen, I went overtime because we attempted to do this 3 times. 3 times, right? Congrats, brother. Job well done on your grind and paying it forward. Absolutely, right? And I appreciate it, right? I appreciate everybody. But now I'm going to make this invitation, right? If you haven't had a chance to check out my free case study video, right? If you haven't had a chance, right? You hear the kids out there, right? You know it's time for me to go. It's time for me to get out of here too. If you haven't had a chance to check out my free case study video, go check that out. Same way IG, go check that out at BeTheRightRecruit.com. BeTheRightRecruit.com. Go check out my free case study. Listen, it's not free to work with me. It's not cheap. But what we do is we produce successful people, successful student athletes, right? The ball stops bouncing for everybody at some point in time. Everybody, at some point, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to do a whole class about the transfer portal. Or maybe I do like a private Zoom and not put it on here. But even with the transfer portal, it's nothing new. As a junior college coach, I've always looked for transfers before I look for high school kids. But what is it about that high school kid that's going to make me take a chance on them? What is it about that high school kid that's going to make them the right recruit? What's going to make them the right recruit? So go check out my free case study video at BeTheRightRecruit.com, right? And if you do want to work with us, if you know that your athlete needs this in their life, they need this to help them get to that next level, right? Then reach out to me. It's springtime. We normally do some things a little bit different, right? You know, we offer some different packages, right? We still have our hoops mastery, but we do like some summer sizzles and, you know, just some different things, because again, we want to help as many people as possible, but we help the right people. So everybody's not a good fit for us. And so they may say, well, I don't know if I can afford that investment. Well, you afford the Jordans, or you, I was talking to a parent the other day. She was like, yeah, I had to pay like hundreds of dollars to take my kid like to St. Louis for a weekend, pay hella money for a hotel room, hella money for gas, money for him to be on the team. I'm not going to call the AAU team out because I think that they're a great team, right? And she like, but my son was on the court probably 25 minutes the whole weekend. She like, you know how much money so you can invest in that, but you can't invest in something that's going to help them grow and become a better individual and learn things that's going to help them play more than 25 minutes. So if you want to take advantage, right, appreciate the info. It's always about a cause much larger than oneself. Absolutely, right? From the neck is so very important. Stay safe out there. One love. All right, appreciate you, coach. Appreciate you, right? I always say, right, it ain't about from the shoulders down, from the neck up. Right. So if you want to take advantage of, right, and I put a special offer out there on Mother's Day. But what we will do, right, what I will do for anybody that sees this video, right, if you schedule a recruitment call with me in the next 3 days. In the next 3 days, if you schedule a recruitment call with me, then when you fill out the application, just somewhere where it allows you to write, just make sure that you put in spring sizzle. Just put in spring sizzle, and that's going to afford you a partial scholarship to our Hoops Mastery program, right? But it has to be within the next 3 days. So today is Monday, so that call has to be before Thursday to be able to take advantage of the spring sizzle additional scholarship. All right, so y'all go check that out, and I will talk to you all. I got my boy Mike King on IG, right? One of the greats, professional, one of my UIC teammates, right, over in Finland right now, doing some great things. Y'all check out Helsinki. What is it, Mike? Is T.F.S.Helsinki, right? He's in Helsinki, Finland, doing great things with his women's program. Y'all go check my buddy Mike King out. But again, for the next 3 days, make sure you comment, right, on the application, spring sizzle, schedule your call within the next 3 days, and you'll be able to, I will honor, right, the additional scholarship for our spring package that we're offering now. All right, but I hope this made sense to all y'all. Remember those 4 things taking stats: rebounds, assists, deflections, and lastly, 50-50 balls. All right, Coach Karvell Bailey, I am out of here. It's time to go. Peace.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Karvell Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Karvell Bailey.
Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is Strategic.